Igloos, American Indian Homes by Jack Manning. Chapter 1. What is an igloo? Igloos are dome-shaped houses. Some American Indians built igloos made of snow. An igloo sometimes had room for just one person. Others were big enough for families. Many igloos had porches that looked like tunnels. People crawled through the porches to get inside the igloos. Fact: igloos can also be made of sod or wood. Sod, the top layer of soil and the grass attached to it. Chapter 2. Who lived in igloos? The Inuit lived in igloos. They are native people from the Arctic Circle area. The Inuit live in Greenland, northern Russia, northern Canada, and central Alaska. The Inuit used igloos on hunting trips. People in the coldest areas of the Arctic lived in igloos all winter. Where Inuit live. 1. Arctic Circle. 2. Alaska. 3. Russia. 4. Canada. 5. Greenland. Native. People who were born in a particular country or place. Fact: few Inuit live in igloos today. They sometimes build igloos on hunting trips. Chapter 3. Working with Snow. The Inuit made igloos from hard snow. They used knives to cut the snow into blocks. The knives were made of bone, metal, or ivory. There are many kinds of snow. The Inuit tried to use snow from the same snowfall. That way it would be the same kind. Using different kinds of snow could cause cracks in an igloo. Ivory, the natural substance of which the tusks and teeth of some animals are made. Fact: today some igloo builders use saws to cut blocks of snow. Chapter 4. Small or big? An Inuit hunter often built a small igloo by himself while out on a hunt. He drew a circle in the snow to mark the igloo's size. The circle was just big enough to lie down in. People worked together to build larger snow igloos. Family igloos were 6 to 15 feet, 2 to 5 meters wide. A man marks space for an igloo. Chapter 5. Building an Igloo. The builder put blocks of snow end to end along the circle. Then the builder stacked blocks in a dome shape. The last block placed was the keystone. It held all the other pieces together. The builder cut a small hole in the top of the dome for a chimney. Fact: builders used blubber oil lamps to melt thin layers of snow inside the igloos. The thin layer froze into ice and helped keep out the wind. Builders fit blocks of snow together. Keystone, a wedge-shaped piece at the top of an igloo that locks the other blocks of snow in place. Blubber, fat under the skin of a whale or a seal. Chapter 6. Inside an Igloo. Inside igloos, Inuit families spent time together. They cooked meals and sewed. They also told stories and sang. Family igloos often had 2 or 3 platforms. One platform was covered with willow mats topped by furs or moss. The Inuit slept on these mats. Platform, a flat, raised structure where people can stand or sleep. A family cooks in an igloo. Chapter 7. Igloo Villages. In some parts of Canada, the Inuit built igloo villages. They lived in the igloos during the winter months. Up to 300 people lived in one village. Families and friends sometimes built tunnels joining igloos together. People could crawl through the tunnels and visit one another. They did not need to walk outside in the cold and wind. A man finishes an igloo in a small village. Chapter 8. Special Igloos. Special igloos were sometimes built for ceremonies and dances. In Thule, Greenland, the Inuit built large igloos called snow domes. People in the village often gathered there during long winter nights. They held singing, dancing, and wrestling events in these igloos. Ceremony. Formal actions, words, and often music performed to mark an important occasion. Inuit people told stories in special igloos. Chapter 9. Letting in Light. Igloos let in plenty of light. During the day, the sun shone through the layer of ice and lit the home. At night, blubber oil lamps provided light and heat. In winter, some people still build snow igloos for warmth. During long trips across Canada, people use snow igloos for shelter. Amazing but true. How can a house made of snow and ice stay warm? The Inuits found ways to stay comfortable in their igloos. A blubber oil lamp could warm an igloo to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, 32 degrees Celsius.